My phone's been blowing up since about, I don't know, 6 o'clock this morning. We heard the news last night before it actually happened. Here's the thing. It's not like Russia has never invaded the Ukraine before. It's not like this is something that's never happened before. But it doesn't seem like before, does it? Chat's up. We're doing Friday today, like I mentioned, because tomorrow is Friday and it's my birthday, and I'm going to take the day off. Is that okay? I'm going to have a pre-game Shabbat, and dinner with the family. But I'm serious. If you look at social media, if you look at the news cycle, and how this, I can't even. It's hard for me to even. It's hard for me to even say administration, And if you take a look at, if you look at the news cycle, the last month or so, I mean, you got to remember we were all going to die over the holidays, straight out of the horse's mouth. Is it a horse? Or was it something else? Straight out of their mouth, they said we were all going to, a bunch of us were going to die over the winter. Well, that didn't happen. In fact, let me change this so that I know how much time we're on. If you look at the news cycle, and if you look at how social media has been reacting or responding or talking about this, it doesn't seem like a regular Russia invading Ukraine narrative, does it? Michael says no. Now, time will tell all. Yes, time tells all. I'm the first one that'll tell you that. I love the fact that time tells all. 30 years ago, I'm a false prophet. I'm a threat to Christian music, and I'm the devil incarnate, and blah blah. And I somehow not invaded, but like I subversively got into Christian rock and somehow convinced a major Christian record label to release my record, and somehow the devil got in, and I was the devil. 30 years later, I'm a genius. I'm a forerunner. I'm a early adapter. I'm a genius. I'm a pioneer. I'm everything I knew I was 30 years ago. But it takes them that much, right? So time will tell whether this is just a regular situation or if there's something else going on. I mean, it makes sense, right? Unleash something on the earth, the entire world. It's not just the U.S. It's not just Canada. It's the entire world for the last 2 years, almost 2 years. It's just like 1 month shy of 2 years. How do I know that? Well, because the Chameleon Church Show was talking about this virus from China in February of 2020. It's documented. It's live. It's on YouTube. Of course, it's real. It's on YouTube. We're a month shy of it coming here to the U.S. We're a month shy from a 2-year anniversary of this thing coming to the U.S. Unleash, all right, let's look at our 2 years. Unleash a biochemical, oh man, this could get me bumped. Unleash a biochemical weapon on the population of Earth. Take the guy that everyone isn't going to screw with out of office. Get him out of there. Because he's not cooperating. He's not cooperating with the narrative, with the global initiative, with the global narrative. He's actually a wrench in that machinery. We got to get him out of there. Let's put a couple clowns in there. See, I don't talk crap. You never heard me publicly talk crap about Obama. You never did. I don't do that. Well, I don't think these guys got in there the right way. So I don't recognize them as such. I know people voted for Obama. That was scary. But they did. And they did. I don't think that's what happened here. And see, this you can't talk about this stuff. They'll literally shut you down. They'll cut down your YouTube. And if they do, you know how to get a hold of us. We'll go over there. Rumble. Anyway, I've been really good at censoring myself, but put the clowns that are in there. Try and destroy the economy, hurt the economy. Kill our independence from, the oil czars out there or the other countries we're having to get petrol from. Because see, everything's ran by the petrodollar. I don't know if you know about that. If you don't know about the petrodollar, that's how things are ran. And so if we can raise those rates, right? Even though we had them really low. Why? Because of the guy that was in there, because of Trump. Kill the economy, kill our oil supply by shutting down that pipeline, become dependent again on them and China. These are all the reasons why Trump was not allowed to have a second term. He talked about this stuff for 20 plus 30 years before he became president. And everyone was like, yeah. And then as soon as he announced he was running, everyone turned on him. Watch the interviews that he did on primetime TV. Letterman, Conan, Leno, doesn't matter, Oprah even. And everyone loved him. As soon as he said he was going to run for president, they all turned on him. Go look at it for yourself. Timelines are important. Continuity and timelines are everything. This is going to hurt us economically. We know that. And that's part of the plan. See, how does the planet do what it needs to do or wants to do, right? If they're being ran, believe me, they're being ran. The kingdoms of the world, the kingdom of the earth. I just read something about that. Let me look it up while I'm ranting here. The kingdoms of this world have an agenda, and they're being ran. And what's the end game, you ask? Well, the end game is wiping Israel off the earth. That's what it says in my Bible. This is my Bible. And the best way to do that is to annihilate the West. Is to keep the West represents something. It represents freedom, democracy, free enterprise. You can get up tomorrow morning, have an idea, and go make money doing it. And they can't stop you. They can try, and they do. Right? Oh, man, where was it? I should have marked it. I think it's all the way over here. And so if they've got to pervert and compromise the West and make them lean towards the ones that don't believe in a God. So you got to remember, I don't know if you saw it, but the Democratic National Convention, I don't know, in the last 10 years, do you remember maybe 2 or 3 terms ago? They voted what their party lines were. And there was no God. That's the first one. There is no God. Jerusalem is not the capital of Israel. We do not consider the biblical definition of marriage as true. Do you remember that? They said, and then they were attacked for that. They were like, even internally, they were like, yeah, maybe we've gone too far. And so they backpedaled really fast. And so I remember this because, as a believer of Jesus, as a believer of the Bible, as a Christian, you can't vote party lines that believe there is no God and that Jerusalem is not the capital of Israel. You can, but at that point, I'm going to question everything about your, quote, faith and understanding of faith and your understanding of the Bible. Well, They want to turn this country into a country that doesn't believe in God. And you know the names of the countries on the other side, that China and Russia. They're communist countries. They're not, right? Obama said when he got into office, there's two things Obama did. He reached out to the Islamic Republic of Iran and said that we were no longer a Judeo-Christian nation. I'm going to get in trouble today, aren't I? We were going to do some Facebook and Instagram ads. Apparently, Facebook. Let me just read the actual quote here from someone that would know. Told you I'm a well-connected boy. Check this out. Right here. Facebook has been steadily eliminating the best terms to target marketing to people of faith, to Christianity. They are eliminating faith from their platforms. If you didn't know this was going on in your country, I don't know where you've been. 65% of American liberal Democrats are in support of what Trudeau is doing right now. That should bother you. These are the Muppets that voted this administration in. These are the Muppets that stood for the people that were funding the riots and the burning down of liberal cities across America less than 2 years ago. And I know way too many people of faith, Christians, that sided with them. And they posted pictures of that, right? What do you see? Nothing. It's all black. Well, it was. They posted... It doesn't seem like a regular situation. This seems, I love it when I'm wrong, and I really love it when I'm wrong about stuff like this. I want to be wrong. I want to be absolutely wrong. I want somebody to come back 6 weeks from now and go, hey, that Chameleon church show you did on February 24th, you were wrong, dude. You were absolutely wrong. And I'm going to go, yes, I want to be wrong about this. I want to be wrong about a lot of things that I think, come up with, say, declare, if you get my drift. I want to be wrong. Do you get my drift? Snarky Cam is back. I want to be wrong. I don't want to be right about this. I literally read a thread all comprised of liberal Democrats talking about the Ukraine. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're actually saying what they're saying. And they were literally in support of Russia invading the Ukraine because the Ukraine is like a Nazi regime. They were literally calling the Ukraine a Nazi regime. And so it's okay and we support Russia. Oh my God, did you see what I just did? Who's in collusion? Who's colluding? Oh my gosh. I don't need your help. I can trigger myself. See, you have to understand the big picture. You have to understand the big picture. You have to understand. I read through Revelation this morning just because I'm trying, I'd love to know where I am in the timeline. But do you have any idea? I was looking for something, right? And I stopped looking for it because something shiny was over here and I went, right? Yeah. If you don't understand or agree with what I'm talking about, how the hell are you going to understand Revelation 16? Oh, just for starters, let me just read you a little something. And I saw coming out of the mouth of the dragon and out of the mouth of the beast and out of the mouth of the false prophet 3 unclean spirits like frogs. For they are demonic spirits performing signs who go abroad to the kings of the whole world to assemble them for battle on the great day of God the Almighty. Behold, I am coming like a thief. Oh, I remember what I was looking for now. Blessed is the one who stays awake, keeping his garments on, that he may not be about naked and be seen exposed. And they assembled them at the, right? And they, who are they? Well, the dragon, the beast, and the false prophet, they assembled them. Who? The whole world, the kings of the whole world, at the place that in Hebrew is called Armageddon. If you don't understand what we're talking about, and if you don't agree with what we're talking about, with what I'm talking about, I understand. But then this is going to smack you broadside. You will be found naked and exposed. Because if you don't understand what I'm talking about right now, you're already naked and exposed. I remember the verse I was looking for in Revelation, and it basically says that the kingdom of the earth, right? It's taking all the kingdoms of the world and calling it one kingdom. Whose kingdom, right? Who's the king of this world? And I was reading it, and it says his kingdom was brought underneath God's kingdom. But see, that's not good enough. It's not good enough for me to say, okay, fine. Believe what you want to believe. Do what you're going to do. You'll see that you're wrong and that I'm right, right? Every knee's going to bow and every tongue confess. Whether you do it now or not, you will be. If you don't do it voluntarily now, you will be forced in your tomorrow. See, it's not good enough for me to just say that and for that to be my position. No, because see, I know what else it says. It says that I need to do everything I possibly can to save these idiots, to save these Muppets. Yeah, I think they're idiots and Muppets. Why do I say that? Alan, that's not very Christ-like. Well, sure it is. Let me explain to you. If you're not understanding this today, what does it say in Proverbs? Wisdom cries out in the street, and the idiot, lazy guy doesn't heed wisdom and doesn't submit to wisdom. They reject Jesus. They reject the truth. They reject the commandments. They reject God. They're not being called nice names in the scriptures. They're actually called lazy and stupid, fools. And so when calamity befalls them, what does wisdom do? She laughs. She laughs at them because they were so stupid and lazy that they didn't listen to her. So it's not good enough for me just to say, all right, Muppet boy and Muppet girl. Don't believe me. Think what you want about me. You can, because a lot of these people think I'm like I'm in a cult. I'm a cult leader. Blah blah blah. You know what? Knock yourself out. No, that's not good enough for me. It also says that that my clothing should not only smell like hell's fire, but the threads of my clothing should be singed from getting so freaking close to the flames to try and pull your ass out of there. It's not good enough for me to say, I know you are, but no, it's not good enough for me. It's not good enough to know that I'm right and you're wrong. No, I'm trying to help you, man. I'm trying to help you avoid. It's that great meme. Jesus at the door. Who's there? It's Jesus. Let me in. Why? So I can save you. Save me from what? From what I'm going to do to you if you don't let me in. I love that meme. Man. Okay. See, this is why I'm not a big fan of church. I'm a huge fan of the body of Messiah, the bride, and I'm a huge fan of well, I'm not going to say it right now because we are definitely we're going to, if you're a part of our Patreon group, you're going to get the information first. And then we'll give it to the general public. Patreon? Yes, we have a Patreon. Patreon, I guess, here, I'm not trying to take your money or get your money, but there's a reason why we do this. Patreon.com/E2IS. That's our Patreon. Go there, join us at the $7 a month up level. We're going to give you guys some information on what's going on. Because see, it's not, I'm not just bitching about stuff. That doesn't do anybody any good. You have to give an answer. You have to give a resolve. There's got to be an answer, right? We don't just complain about this stuff. We'll actually give you a solution. And we know what the solution is. And we work towards it. That's why we do this. That's why we do that. That's why I did the music that I did. We offered, not only, we're not just complaining about this stuff, we're offering a solution. And we want to start letting you in on what that's, right? Okay, so what do we do? What steps do I take, Allan, as a man, as a woman, as a husband, as a father, as a wife, as an individual? What do I do and what can I do to prepare and protect and be wise, right? And know what's coming and be prepared. Well, church can't do that. Church isn't designed to do that. Church isn't structured to do that. But an apostolic center is. I've already said too much. Okay. How does this fit in with our theme? All right, so we're doing Friday today because tomorrow's my birthday. Do I have anything yet? Right here. What is it? Hold on. Give me a second. We're doing Friday today because tomorrow is Friday, but it's my birthday. Yeah. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Is it? Maybe not. Was it this one? No. No. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Tomorrow's my birthday. Oh, here. Let me see if I can do it together at the same time. 1 second. Tomorrow's my birthday. See? I'm sorry. I'm trying to get off the cliff. I'm trying to get down off the off the roof, right? I was just on my ranting soapbox, trying to come off the cliff, or what is it? What's the term? Get off the balcony and get off the edge. And so, how does this tie? So we've been doing woe to you. I think there's 7 of them. Matthew 23. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, from Jesus, his own mouth, his own red-lettered mouth. And so we're going to end it up today. Matthew 23, 29 through 36. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you build the tombs of the prophets and decorate the... this reminds me of something. Apparently yesterday, on the 2-minute warning, yesterday's 2-minute warning, somebody texted me thinking I was saying something that I wasn't saying something, but it was apparently implied or suggest or anyway. He thought he sent me an encouraging word, and the encouraging word is this, and then I had to correct him. Just crazy. He said, "I understand having low numbers can be disheartening." So yesterday I mentioned how Incorruptible 2-minute warning has of all the programs we do, this series 2-minute warning has the least views. And I even said that I wasn't saying that as a complaint. No, not at all. I was just noting that because of the point I wanted to make. And the point was, when you talk to people like this, when you're warning people, when you're telling them they're doing stuff wrong and they need to change and do it right, you don't get a bunch of people don't want to hear that. And so that's why the numbers are low. And I know that, and that's what I was trying to explain yesterday, but apparently I didn't explain it good enough. Then they said, please don't, initially some of us can't make the initial airtime, but we watch it after the fact. I know that. And then they said, please be encouraged. Don't pull the plug on the show. I have no intention of pulling the plug on the show. And I even went back, and we've been doing this for 15 months. We're not pulling the plug on this show. I'm not complaining about the numbers. I know the numbers are where they're at because of the content, because we're telling people this, this stuff. So no, I'm not discouraged. I'm not disheartened. Well, I am, but not by the numbers, but by the stuff that we're talking about, or the fact that we have to say these things to people of faith, because why don't people of faith know this stuff? Why haven't they taught you this? Well, because they don't know. See, anyway, but no, we're not pulling the plug. We're going to keep, yeah. Okay. Maybe I should just change coffee with Allan. Coffee with Allan. 2-minute espresso with Allan. Maybe that'll. The ledge. That's it. Ledge. Matthew 23, 29 through 36. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you build the tombs of the prophets and decorate the monuments of the righteous, saying, if we had lived in the days of our fathers, we would not have taken part with them in shedding the blood of the prophets. It doesn't make you popular when you explain to people that they're lying. You know, you can lie to yourself and believe that if you want, but why are you lying to me? Don't lie to me. Don't insult me like that. And don't insult my intelligence or my discernment. Telling people that what they just said is a lie and not true, and that they're full of cock-a-doodoo. Why can't we just say that word? Why is it offensive to people, the SH word? Shite, but without the I. Without the E. You know, telling people that they're full of dishonesty. There you go. I'm sorry. I'm just riled up. There's stuff going on, people. There's been so many shifts. So many things have shifted in the last few years. I told you, October 2019. I told you. Go look. Did you look up that word from October of 2019? Chameleon Church YouTube? It's in there. Look it up. First Tuesday of October. I think it was, I don't know, the 10th or the 9th or something. I warned you. He warned you. Anyway. Telling people who, see, they're saying this. They're saying this to make themselves feel good about themselves. No. They're saying this as a declaration of how holy they are compared to the prophet killers. If we had lived in the days of our fathers, we would not have taken part with them in shedding the blood of the prophets. They're saying that to convince you of their holiness. Because, see, killing the prophets of God wasn't a holy act. It was a demonic act. Who wants prophets killed? The devil, Lucifer, Satan, the king of this world. Lucifer to me has always sounded more of a more nefarious name. That's why I use the word Lucifer. But he's not. Lucifer's go away. Go to your conspiracy theory groups and stay there. Don't come over here and do that. Okay, thank you. Lucifer wants prophets killed. Lucifer doesn't want the power of the Holy Spirit manifesting on the earth, in the earth realm. Lucifer doesn't want spirit realm, godly, holy power, authority functioning and acting in the earth realm. That's a threat. That's a direct threat. That's a major declaration of war against him and what he's wanting to do and accomplish in the earth realm. We're seeing what happened this morning is part of his agenda to take down the earth realm. Why does he want the earth realm taken down? Because he hates your guts, because God put Adam on in his realm, his territory. He's the king of this, right? He's the prince and he's the king of this world. And gave Adam dominion over it. And so that's why he did what he did and seduced them. So he hates you. He doesn't want prophets alive. He wants prophets killed. He wants the words that they speak discredited. And if he can convince people of faith that the spirit of prophecy, which is a testimony of Jesus, isn't alive in the earth realm today, he can then fill that void or gap that they've just allowed, that breach. He can then insert himself into that breach. And that's exactly what we saw with a bunch of Christians in the last 2 years when they decided Trump was not here because of God and that he was bad. And then they instead picked up the exact opposite 3-letter acronym plaque with little Bobby and Susie as they stood outside their suburban. And they didn't believe that they were a Marxist or against everything and anything that is scripturally sound. See, the Pharisees are saying what they're saying here, or Jesus is saying that they're saying this, because Jesus is saying this, because they want you to believe and think that they're on the right side of things and that they're on the right side of God. It's exactly like that meme. If you've ever thought what you would do during a Nazi Germany scenario or an Anne Frank scenario or during slavery, remember what's it called? The Underground Railroad that happened with the African Americans here in the U.S. There's that great meme that says, if you ever wondered how you would act or respond or whatever, what side of where would you be in that situation? Well, you're doing exactly what you're doing right now. What you're doing, how you're thinking, and what you're supporting, and where you're putting your money, that's what you would have done back then. See, you can give money to Black Lives Matter, and the government won't. Oh, I can't. But don't support a bunch of truckers. They'll freeze your bank accounts, and they'll come looking for you. I'm sorry. Where were we? If we had lived in the days of our fathers, we would not have taken part with them in shedding the blood of the prophets. These are the guys that are going to kill Messiah. Jesus says, let me start over again. Jesus says, woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you build the tombs of the prophets and decorate the monuments of the righteous, saying, if we had lived in the days of our fathers, we would not have taken part with them in shedding the blood of the prophets. Thus, you witness against yourselves that you are sons of those who murdered the prophets. See, they're not very smart. And anybody with half a clue can see right through it. That's what Jesus just did. He saw right through it. Fill up, then, the measure of your fathers. You serpents, you brood of vipers, how are you to escape being sentenced to hell? Oh, that's not very Christian of you. That's not very nice, Jesus. What about grace and love and mercy? How are you going to escape being sentenced to hell? So Jesus says, here's a declaration. Jesus declares, therefore I send you prophets and wise men and scribes. Other translations say Torah teachers. Wait, Jesus is going to die soon after this. So is he saying that he's going to send prophets and Torah teachers after his death? But wait, he did away with that. Or they would eventually be done away with, right? No. If you don't believe prophets and the Torah, if you don't believe prophets exist today, if you don't believe the spirit of prophecy, if you don't believe prophecy, prophets and prophecy exist today, you probably also don't believe, well, no, that's not true. I can't say that because I know a lot of people that believe in the Torah for today, but don't believe in prophets for today because they're just not that bright, and vice versa. So, because I also know people that believe in prophets today, but don't believe in the Torah for today because they're not so bright. If you're SOL and believe that both of them don't exist, you're in error. You're in error. Therefore, Jesus says, I'm going to send you prophets and wise men and scribes, Torah teachers, some of whom you will kill. Who's you? The Pharisees. Some of whom you will kill and crucify, and some you will flog in your synagogues and persecute from town to town, so that on you may come all the righteous blood shed on earth, from the blood of righteous Abel to the blood of Zechariah, the son of Berechiah, whom you murdered between the sanctuary and the altar. They physically murdered somebody between the sanctuary and the altar because they were so wrong and they were so right. There's another part where Jesus says, you're going to do these things to, I am going to send you, Jesus, the Messiah, the Son of the one true God, Elohim, King of the universe. Baruch atah Adonai. I am going to send you prophets and you're going to kill them thinking you're doing my Father's work. Saul of Tarsus. There's this great meme or a great saying that Paul, the Apostle Paul, Saul of Tarsus, is going to enter heaven to the cheers of those he murdered. Because that's how this is played. See, upside down. Totally. First, last, last, first. Servant, master, master, servant. Truly I say to you, all these things will come upon this generation. I said at the very beginning of this little series that if any of these attributes that Jesus is calling hypocritical, if you have any of them, you need to do something about it. You need to take care of it. You just do. You don't want to be that guy. Be the other guy, right? Don't be like the older brother of the prodigal. Don't be that guy. So, yeah, these guys were they whether they know it or not. See, that's the thing. They didn't believe it. They believed that if they lived in those days, they wouldn't have killed. They wouldn't have taken part in killing the prophets like our fathers did. See. When you understand human social behavior, when you understand why people say what they say, how they say what they say, why they do what they do, how they do what they do, none of this is very surprising. It's actually, it's a lot of it doesn't even take spiritual discernment. It's just common sense. When they, because they said our fathers, see, which ties them in. So Jesus just exposes the obvious. In my opinion, a lot of the stuff that he does is exposing the obvious. We do too. We do too. Which is why I guess that's why people consider me rude and all that, because I can see past the nonsense, One of the feathers that broke the camel's back of that church we were working with in Park City, this is like 7 or 8 years ago now, was one of the other pastors flat out lied about what they were going to do, where they were going to go do it. And we caught him in the lie. And we flat out called him out on the lie. Well, that didn't go over very well. Didn't go over very well at all. I mean, it split that little church in half, and there was barely enough people to split in half, and it didn't go over very well. Yes, I'm still alive. Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. I'm still here. Bye. Someone's calling to tell me how great this show is. And I'm like, I'm still doing it. But they lied. And they thought they were going to be able to like twist it, and twist it. No, you can't con a con. What do I mean by that? I was asked recently when that when you say that, you're saying that you're a con man. I know that's no. What I mean by is, I know how this stuff works. I've been in the game. I know the game about, waxing poet. Marketing. How do you think a band makes it from nothing to something in Los Angeles in that type of atmosphere, in that business? Well, you got to be able to, you got to spin it, right? Maybe I should. You can't. That's when I say you can't con a con. What I mean by that is you can't spin it. I'm gonna, and think I'm gonna buy into the spin, because I know that's just not true. Well, they were convinced that they hadn't lied, and I called them out on it, and I proved how they were lying, And it didn't go over very well. I mean, see, this happens all the time. And then they do the whole, what do you then they try to play the Christian card, grace, like I'm wrong for calling you out. That's what happened to me last week. I shared on Facebook. No, I'm not wrong for calling you out. You're wrong. And because you're wrong, I'm calling you out. I'm not judging you. You can't say I'm judging and then throw, I explained all that last week. No, man. It's called truth. Truth is not fluid. Truth is absolute. And people don't like the truth. The reason why they don't like the truth is because they don't walk in the truth and they don't live in the truth. They literally have shadows when they're not supposed to have shadows of turning, right? They literally have dark places. They veer to the left and to the right. They don't stay on the straight and narrow. And so because they're like that, they expect you to be like that too. And they accuse you of stuff that they would literally do to you or are doing to you that they're now, and then when you bust them on it, they start accusing you of doing what they're doing. I see it in the liberal left. I see it in people of faith that literally don't walk in truth. They try to manipulate. They twist it. That's what Lucifer did. Lucifer twisted the truth to Eve, and she was seduced. Lucifer twisted the truth with Jesus in the desert. Jesus didn't allow himself to be seduced, and instead corrected the twist. Why would someone of faith want to twist the truth if they didn't have an agenda? Because see, when you speak the truth, you don't have to twist anything. You just speak the truth. I don't have an agenda. If you don't want to buy my book, don't buy my frickin' book. That's what I used to tell the music industry. You don't want to buy my record? Don't buy my record. I would tell DJs, you don't want to play my music on your radio station? Then don't play my music on your radio station. I'm not here for you. I don't have an agenda. I fear God. I'm here to do what God was telling me to do. And whether you understand or agree or whatever, that's not my problem. Which makes me even more grateful to those of you that do understand and believe and support and are here and blah, blah, blah. Because I fear God and I just want to serve him and I want to be a good steward. That's all. And telling you the truth about yourself and telling you the truth about what the Bible says and telling you the truth about Scripture and telling you the truth about Christianity and telling you the truth about... That's one way to do it. Don't twist it. Do you think you're going to be able, all right. So you're going to twist it. You're going to twist it to yourself. You're going to twist it to your spouse. You're going to twist it to your children. You're going to twist it to your pastor. You're going to twist it to your fellow pastors. You're going to twist it to your leadership. You're going to twist it, whatever. You must think somewhere inside, for all the twisting that you're doing, you have to think, just like the Pharisees, you have to think somewhere deep inside that when you stand before the King of the universe, you're going to be able to twist it on him?
The views and opinions expressed during our broadcasts are solely those of the broadcast producers, hosts, and/or guests, etc., and are not necessarily the views or opinions of the Travelog Network, its sponsors, or affiliates.